Hello, my name is Jonathan, and I'm the AML Product Specialist of Securexchange. And in this video, I'll be guiding you through our Compliance Centre, going through the process of establishing your AML program and obligations to get your agency fully prepared and set up for the launch of the reforms in 1st of July. What you're seeing right now is the Securexchange-based dashboard, and we'll access the Compliance Centre by clicking here in the top right corner. When setting up your Compliance Centre, our system will ask you 3 questions. First, to select your sector, and for Securexchange purposes, we'll go with the real estate professionals. Next, we'll be asking you to assign your roles. So you'll need to assign your governing body, and then your compliance officer. Optionally, you can assign your senior managers and your clients-facing staff at a later date as well. Thirdly, we'll be asking you to enter your AUSTRAC enrollment number, and if you don't have one right now, do not fret. We'll also give you the option to add it retroactively later. Here we'll click Save, and this will bring us to the Compliance Centre base dashboard. From this point onwards, there are 5 main goals that we want to achieve for your agency to be fully compliant and prepared for the AUSTRAC requirements in 1st of July. If your agency hasn't started with its AUSTRAC enrollment process yet, simply click here and select AUSTRAC enrollment to begin your enrollment process directly through their website. Once you've received your AUSTRAC enrollment number, click here, add in your enrollment number, and then hit Save. For the second AUSTRAC requirement, all agencies will be required to have a risk assessment in place. To get started, we'll click on the second tab. And if your agency already has one, we'll click Upload Your Own. Otherwise, we'll get started here. From this point, our system will ask you a series of questions that are tailored specifically to address the core factors and concerns of the AUSTRAC legislation and starter packs. They're also designed for your agency to have a general understanding and awareness of each risk factors. To start the process, we'll start by selecting our designated service, and our only option will be real estate. We'll select Next. Next, we'll be selecting the clients that you'll be acting as the buyer and seller agent of. So individuals, body corporates that include private and public companies, partnerships, trustees involved in family trusts, estates, or charities, associations such as syndicates, and government bodies. Next, we'll select the ways that you'll be interacting with your clients. Next, we'll be going through the designated service risk factors. These are inherent risks and scenarios that your agency could be vulnerable to whenever you're transacting with your clients. AUSTRAC has also assigned high, medium, and low risk ratings for each scenario and client, which you can determine at the top right of each options. So for the first scenario, if a property valued at $1.5 million or more and doesn't have any mortgages or lending institutions involved, is this a risk that your agency is willing to accept? If you select yes, then we'll move on to the next scenario. If a client presents you $50,000 or more cash in person, again, is this a risk that your agency is willing to take? If you select no, we'll provide you with a brief field, and you just have to provide a brief statement on how you would mitigate this risk. So for this example, I'll say, we only accept bank transfers. Just to conserve some time, I'll be selecting yes for the remaining options, but we'll also provide a brief example and context for each risk factor. So again, for virtual assets, that includes Bitcoin. And unusual service requests, this could be any operations that deviate from your standard business. Politically exposed people, these could be current or former government officials and their immediate relatives as well. Third party, that can include individuals who are unable to act for their property and might need a legal or financial representative or an enduring power of attorney to act on their behalf. Here, if your business operates outside of Australia, we'll also give you the option to select the country. And just like the risk factors, each country will also come with their own risk ratings from AUSTRAC as well. Now that we've completed the agency's risk assessment, we've been redirected to this page. This page serves as a summary and information center for all the choices you've previously selected. So if you need a reminder of a certain risk rating or terminology, you can always refer back to this page. Please note everything you've selected is not final, and you can always go back and edit your risk assessment by clicking here, update your risk assessment, and we'll also have an audit trail for you to keep track of all the changes you've made, and the page will also be updated accordingly to your changes as well. Next, we'll move on to the third step, which will be creating your policy and process. Like the risk assessment, you can always upload your own. Otherwise, we'll start creating the policy and process document. Next, our system will ask how many staff are in your agency currently. This is because our policy and process document is based around the AUSTRAC starter packs, so it is best suitable for agencies within the 1 to 15 staff range currently. If you have more than 15 staff, then you can still rely on our policy and process document, but you will just need to provide a suitability statement on how you can incorporate our policy and process document into your compliance program. Now we'll hit next, and our system will begin generating the policy and process document. Once the document has been generated, I highly recommend you to review and have a general understanding of the policies and process in place. It will outline how your agency operates and its compliance obligations and responsibilities as a tranche 2 reporting entity. You'll also need to change your organization name here, which you can do so here in the top corner. Download the document as a docx document. Once you've made the amendments, upload the document as a new document. And then again, any changes will be recorded in our audit trail. With that, we'll move on to our fourth step, which is staff onboarding. On this page, here's an overview of all the staff in your agency that is subjected to the AML CTF obligations. AUSTRAC will need to see that you've assigned a governing body, compliance officer, and all sale agents to be client-facing personnel. Here, we'll start the onboarding process by clicking on the first individual here and clicking the onboard button on the right corner here. First, we'll start by assigning their role. You can assign a role to a person however many roles you want. And the onboarding requirements will also change based on their role as well. So for example, I've selected client-facing for this individual, and they will only need to go through verification of identity, PEP sanctions and adverse media, and suitability checklist. The suitability checklist is just for you to certify that this person is suitable for the role. If I select compliance officer, they will need to complete the aforementioned 3 checks, but also in addition, criminal history check, bank history registry check. Once you have all their details confirmed, simply hit order. I highly recommend you to have their middle name and also date of birth, just so for our media screening checks to have a more precise search as well. When you're onboarding your staff, you need to make sure that you understand that the governing body can onboard the compliance officer, and then the compliance officer can onboard the governing body and the sales staff. With this hierarchy in mind, you'll be able to seamlessly onboard all your staff members. If you need to add a staff member who's not currently listed in the staff onboarding tab, Simply click on this person here and then click Settings. Refer to the left-hand side and click User Management. And here you can create a new user and create their account. Now we'll jump back to the Compliance Centre. For our final step, we'll just need to provide training for our staff. AUSTRAC will require all agencies to provide sufficient training to all staff members in the agency. So here we provided 10 training modules, each containing 10 to 15-minute videos. We've partnered up with Grant Thornton, an international legal and financial practitioner firm that closely collaborates and consults with AUSTRAC to design the AML CTF legislations and starter packs. Thus, we can guarantee your staff will receive the highest standards of training. The training modules and Compliance Centre will also be continuously supported and updated whenever substantial changes in the legislation is introduced. Once you view the video, there will be a brief questionnaire to test that you've taken in all the information, and once completed, you'll also receive a completion certificate for each module completed. Once your agency has obtained and entered its AUSTRAC enrollment number, have its risk assessments and policy and process in place, completed all your staff onboarding and training, then congratulations. Your agency is now ready and prepared for the legislation reforms of 1st July. If you have any questions or concerns as we draw close to the 1st of July, please feel free to reach out to myself, your business development or account managers directly. I hope this is helpful for your Compliance Centre onboarding process, and thank you so much for watching.